Hey everyone, this is Dr. Sandy with another exciting video for you and your family and friends, and today we're going to talk about headaches, we're going to talk about migraines, and things we can do to naturally help the situation. Now, if you are watching this and you have had a headache or a migraine, or someone you care about has headache or migraines, they're awful, they can really affect your quality of life, and I'm using those terms kind of interchangeably, but headaches are usually, I would say, more light, not as long lasting. They're not as strong, they're not as severe. And then a migraine to me, which is a type of headache, is just way more intense. It usually lasts longer, and it can literally, you just need to lie down and rest because it's so bad. You really can't continue what you're doing. So there's kind of a spectrum, but regardless, the way I look at the human body, when we have any symptom, any type of pain, dysfunction, I believe the way I look at the body, that the body's asking for help, it's saying something's wrong, and we need to address it. We need to look at those symptoms and say, okay, what's my security system? What is my body telling me? What is this software that I have, which is the brain and spinal cord? What is the software telling me? Kind of like when you're using your laptop, an alert might pop out and say, hey, there's a virus, there's something wrong. Or you might go through a system check and it says, hey, these things aren't operating well. We should always look at the body and say, is it operating at optimal efficiency? And if it isn't, when we get that symptom, instead of ignoring it or trying to suppress it, we should say, okay, what's going on here and what do I need to change to obviously start feeling stronger? So the first category I'm going to talk about is physical. So one thing that may be causing headaches is that if you use a computer all day, I mean, at some point throughout the day, most of us are going to use a computer. We might be using our phone. We're not moving enough. So if you're actually taking notes, you want to write this down, you need to make an effort to move daily. Now, this might be a walk, stretching, going to the gym, whatever it looks like, but I personally believe, and if you look at the research, the human body is designed to move. And we're actually in an interesting time in history where we have the best computers, we have the technology, and I think it's awesome, but we also have a population that's not moving as much as we used to in the past. And because of that, we're seeing new health problems starting to develop. So if you look at the human body, obviously if we push way too hard, that's a negative. But if we don't do enough, that can also be a negative. So if you're sitting all day, or maybe you're watching this and you're a parent and your child who is studying is sitting all day, and when you're sitting and you're not moving, that stress can actually put tension in the neck, in the shoulders, and actually cause headaches. So we need to be mindful of that. So of course, taking a break every 30 minutes, every 60 minutes, just getting up from your workstation, being mindful when you use your cell phone. Honestly, cell phones are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So let's just learn to use it. Maybe if you're on a phone call with someone, use speakerphone, get up and walk. Maybe have a policy that when I can, if I'm talking to someone, I'll be walking, I'll be moving, but you got to get up and move. The best stretches for the neck would be, obviously, if we are going forward, we want to counteract that. So we want to do a stretch where the head's going all the way back. We're looking straight at the ceiling. I would say, to be safe, you can do this seated. If you feel comfortable, you can do it standing. See what's best for you. The other thing I would say as well is that if you can tilt your head, we just want to restore motion as much as possible, and then doing the rotation. These are the major movements for the top spine. So it's the head going back, and obviously we're going to do things that are comfortable, to this left, to the right, and then practicing rotation as well. Now, I usually tell my patients, if you can try to hold for 30 seconds, see what's comfortable. Some people can maybe only do it for 5 or 10. That's great. That's progress. Some people probably can go for a minute. So even when you're learning something, always kind of customize, see what's feeling good for your body. If something's uncomfortable, if you feel lightheaded, obviously don't continue. But just doing some gentle stretches is very powerful. The other thing I would say as well is chemical, which is the next category. So there's the physical, there's the chemical. You have to start looking at your diet. Now, water is going to help the system. If you do suffer with headaches or migraines, yes, water is going to help, but I would even say in general, why wait till you get that symptom? Just make sure water is a priority. If we don't drink enough water, it can trigger headaches and migraines. And what's really interesting as well, you have to look at your diet. So caffeine, we know, is a vasoconstrictor. So it actually makes the blood vessels tighter. So that can itself cause headaches. And then alcohol on the other extreme is a dilator. It actually widens the blood vessels. So either of these can actually play with the blood flow in the brain and the head and cause, discomfort. So what I would suggest to you is, I would do baby steps, but if you can, ultimately long-term, getting rid of caffeine, getting rid of alcohol would be the long-term goal. The short-term goal would be to say, you know what, I'm going to start reducing caffeine. I would do baby steps because I can tell you by talking to a lot of patients, if you stop caffeine abruptly, let's say you're someone who has 2-3 cups a day and you suddenly stop, you'll probably get withdrawal symptoms. And those withdrawal symptoms can be bad headaches. I've talked to patients who've said, oh, if I don't have my tea, if I don't have my chai, if I don't have my coffee in the morning, I get a headache. Actually getting a headache, and then when I drink it I feel better. So that probably means on some level you're kind of addicted to that product. But I would say just do baby steps. So hey, you drink 3 cups of tea a day, cut down to maybe 2, see how your body feels. You want to do this slowly, but less caffeine will be good for you. Alcohol, ultimately, I'd say long term, to be open with you, I try to get rid of it completely, and if not, at least start to reduce. So maybe if you're having it throughout the week, maybe save it for the weekend, and even for the weekend, tell yourself maybe a couple of drinks, but long term, try to get off the stuff. You'll be better for it. As I share this with you, I have stopped alcohol, caffeine, since the beginning of 2024. Now we're in 2025. I feel better. I feel more clear. I didn't drink a lot of caffeine. I hardly drank alcohol anyhow, but I just went to 0. I said, why not just take that jump? And I feel better for it. So again, you want to see what works for you. Don't do anything too radical that is just hard on your body. Just take baby steps. Look at decaffeinated products. And then what you want to switch to long term is if you are a coffee or tea drinker, you want to look at herbal teas. So like a chamomile tea, a peppermint tea, lemon tea, just drinking hot water is also good for you. So looking at that, there's also coffee alternatives which don't have caffeine at all. So you can look for those in the market. But there's always ways to get around it. You can kind of go old school, just drinking hot milk again, hot water with lemon and honey, just really simple stuff. But I would say make an effort to start reducing the caffeine, make an effort to start reducing alcohol. If someone drinks alcohol and they're watching this, maybe on the weekend you have 4 beers. Well, tell yourself, you know what, I'm going to start taking baby steps. Let's make it 3, 2, and start to reduce. But these tips will help you. And maybe you'll get to a point you're like, I'm still going to drink Dr. Sandy. I'm still going to have my tea or coffee. That's great, but at least try to reduce it because overall you'll be better for it in the long term. And then the other big one, which can trigger headaches as well, is stress. And we have to be aware of this. So if we are constantly in an environment where we're worried, where we're getting angry, that can cause immense pain, inflammation response. It can literally just put pressure on the nerves, which can cause headaches, migraines, and all these kind of things. So this is another tool we want to be mindful of. So whatever works for you, what's your de-stressor? Maybe it's listening to music, prayer, meditation, reading a good book, walking in nature, whatever that is for you, but you need to do something where you can let your mind kind of rest, because maybe you have a good diet, maybe you're doing all these good things, maybe you're moving every day, you're stretching, you're exercising, and you're like, why is this still coming? I feel like I have a good lifestyle. You should look at your stress levels. And sometimes you may not even realize that, like, wow, there's something on my mind and I guess it's bothering me more than I realize. So, and what I like with all these steps I've just shared, like, moving more, drinking more water, meditating, praying, reading a good book, there's really no downside to these things. These are things that are just going to help get the body stronger, improve function in the body. So the more we do this, you are just going to be better for it. So do these things. Now, let's say you've done all the things, you're moving well, you have a good diet, you're managing your stress, and you're still having headaches or migraines. Please contact our office. We're here for you. Maybe it's for you, or maybe it's for a family member or a friend you have, and they're just looking for something. They don't want to live this way anymore. So contact our office at 905-896-3393. That's 905-896-3393. My website is gopowerflow.com. We have information there. And if you just have any general question you want to ask about health and healing and how to live naturally, reach out to our office, call or text us 905-896-3393. Go to our website, gopowerflow.com. We're here for you. We are ready to serve. And God bless you. I hope you got some great information today. God bless you.